Okay, everybody, this is Grace. This video, I'm going to talk about a variety of things. I've mentioned before in videos that I take notes, and I had a whole bunch of them that I had taken notes, didn't have the time to make the videos with them. So I just collected them, and right now I'm going to make some on various topics. It's just topics for grabs if anybody wants to talk about it, mostly concerning things like narcissism. So, and by the way, if you hear little jingle bells, that's my new puppy. Its collar. I put a bell on it so I know where it is most of the time. Anyway, let's see. One of my notes I wrote, I just wrote highlights on these. And this one was about people saying, it's just business. And I know a lot of people think of a movie, Godfather, I believe, about it's just business, nothing personal, something like that. Well, people were saying it's just business long before then. And to me, what I have seen what I feel is, no, it's not just business. And I think that's an easy way for people to excuse things off, really, Okay, because what I usually see when people say that, like as if it just excuses it off, like I said, is that it's something that is heartless. Okay, and that's like excusing those kinds of behavior because it's a business, and therefore anybody in the business can behave this way. This is something we need to get past, this mentality, to combat this mentality of it's just business, and business they can do anything. No, who would want you to think that way? And why would they want you to think that way? Okay, so they can continue doing whatever it is, heartless as it is, and it's just business. It's all excusable. No, it's not. Okay. And this thought really did spread like weeds. It seriously has since I was young. You wouldn't hear it that often, but every blue moon. And a lot of people, they say no. But as time has gone by, it's become more and more acceptable. And I don't accept it. I don't know about you, but I don't accept it. They need to need not to be heartless. Seriously, it's just business, no. Okay, so I am using various notes that I've written over time, and they're not going to all flow at all. So, and here's one I wrote. And I think I've done a video on this a few years ago. It's about how people say if you spot it, you got it, and it's basically saying you do it too. Just I can remember times that I have seen that, but it was to a lesser degree. Like somebody is really exaggerating it. Now, personally, my experience, maybe back then I didn't think this way, but these days I do, that the people who, really, they make it dramatic, theatrical, are the ones who are more histrionic. Their behaviors are, I'm not diagnosing anybody. And make sure you read that disclaimer below this video on YouTube. And also the backgrounds aren't going to match up, but that was one of them that, what they think that automatically, if you can complain about somebody, you do it too. But in some instances, it is that way for some people, okay, but not all people. And let's move on to the next one. Okay, another day I would think I wrote just this. It says they become paranoid, and underneath it I wrote they would do so they suspect that others would do. Okay, whatever. But I remember thinking about that, and it is that often, like, you are you're not narcissistic or any of these cluster B, personality, behaviors. You don't have them to an extent that it's noticeable. We all have some kind of, a little bit of them, if you ask me. Really little. Not all of them, but some. Or maybe just one, being a little bit narcissistic. But you wouldn't do something that they suspect you of doing. And some people automatically think it's just because they have done it. There's so many things you could say. But it could be what they would do if they had the opportunity. Okay? And so they suspect you, if you had the opportunity, you automatically did that. Okay, whatever it was, because they possibly would if they had that chance, like I'm saying, if that makes sense. Okay, and another topic was a note I left for myself was about empaths and views. Now, I did a video before when I basically said that I've never seen one true definition of an empath. I see myself as empathetic. I will call myself an empath among certain online groups because it's common in certain online groups to call themselves empaths. Now, I've mentioned before, I don't see it as mystical or magical, and I don't see that one size fits all in anything, pretty much anything, except you live, you die, and you need air to breathe along that line. But in something like this, no. And I made that video saying that there are some people out there who say they know the one and only definition and the one and only criteria to meet, and it's not in the DSM. At least I don't think so. I'm pretty certain it's not. But that, anybody who would, it kind of seems to be the opposite of an empath. Okay, in my view, and I could be wrong, but in my view, I'm not saying I have the one definition either. Of course I don't. And but some people think they do. Okay, so anyway, I had posted it to a Facebook group about empaths. And sure enough, some woman came by, first comment, and she said that just because there's no scientific definition of an empath, now I can't use what tone she was because it was in writing, but she basically said just because there's no scientific definition, that doesn't mean that there is one definition. And of course, she knew the one definition. Yeah, and she felt that she had it all covered. She knew everything. Well, right underneath it, I blocked deleted her, by the way, but right underneath it, somebody had written their definition. So, and yeah, some people that, to me, in a way, that was somebody who she obviously, I don't think, had even watched the video, but that she had read the title and wanted to state that she knew the one definition. Or maybe she did, and she just has that arrogance to think that she knows all of it. And everybody should follow her lead because she is the one who knows. Okay? Okay, and I also got from her the whole thing that it's just because it's not scientific. Now, I have seen that kind of comment, not on mine, but in person and online, to others and all, or just on videos. People make themselves statements they make themselves, has nothing to do with me, that they basically have a distrust. And we know a lot of conspiracy theorists. My mother was a conspiracy theorist, by the way, so I do know quite a bit about them in that respect of knowing her and what they say today. But the conspiracy theorists, they have, some of them, not all in any of this video, but some of them, they do have this distrust of anything scientific and so forth, but not all of them. And then that's the gist I got from it. But when a person is educated in the, say, psychology and sociology, they do learn that they have an opinion, they have a view, they have a perspective, they have a theory, and so on, that others might differ from that. And it's okay, as long as they meet whatever it is needed to be able to make that statement. Okay? Okay, and I've done enough of those videos about the topic that can go on from there. And so I think I've done enough on that. But I do want to move to a topic of when people want you to both be an expert on every topic out there, because if not, they're going to ridicule you, pick on you, be cruel to you, verbally abuse, laugh at you, whatever. But at the same time, when you are actually a voice of authority on a topic, they're going to do the exact same too. Never will you ever in their life, as far as I know, will you ever seem like you know what you're talking about with that type. They are always going to know better. They are going to be the one. And I think I just made this video right here. But yeah, they will always think that they are the only one who knows. Now, I can't say always, really, because, I haven't seen them to their death. But, yeah, it's quite common that I've never seen them change so far. Okay, anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. I have done enough on it. I'll talk to you on another video.